Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a full maintenance walkthrough for the Anycubic Kobra S1 Combo. This is one of Anycubic's flagship enclosed Core XY multicolor machines, and like any precision printer, it needs regular upkeep to keep it running at its best. Whether you're chasing perfect first layers, trying to prevent clogs, or just hearing some noises that you don't like, this video covers everything straight from Anycubic's official maintenance recommendations. I'm going to break this video into sections by component so you can skip directly to whatever you need. We'll cover the Z-axis lead screw and linear rods, the Y-axis linear rods, the X-axis optical axis, the hot end and nozzle, the cutter assembly, the fans, the print surface or build plate, and the camera. I'll put links to the products I'm using down in the video description. Let's get into it. First up, the Z-axis lead screw. This is one of the most important lubrication points on the machine, and Anycubic recommends servicing it roughly every 3 months, or sooner if you start hearing abnormal noise when the Z-axis moves. One big caveat here, do not use regular lubricating oil on the lead screw. Oil is too thin. You want proper lithium-based grease for this job. Here is the process step by step. Step 1. Clean the screw. Turn off the machine and unplug it. Take a lint-free cloth and wipe down the entire length of the lead screw. You want it clean and free of any old, dried, greased, dust, or debris before you apply anything new. In my experience, trying to clean a lead screw with a cloth just pushes the old grease into the grooves. I highly recommend using this Moto Floss. Simply loop it around the rod and then pull it back and forth, and it will climb or descend the rod and give it a thorough cleaning. Oddly, Anycubic's maintenance guide completely neglects to mention the linear rods for the Z-axis, but as you can see here, there is a small amount of grease applied to these rods. In this video, I'll clean the Z-axis linear rods exactly like the Y-axis linear rods and grease them in the same manner. So, grab a lint-free cloth, apply some alcohol to that cloth, and then give the 3 linear rods a good wipe down. And here is a tip for you. I keep one cloth dedicated for alcohol cleaning, marked here with an A, and one cloth dedicated to grease, marked with a G. Oh, and it's always nice to have some nitrile gloves on hand to keep all of these chemicals off of your hands. Step 2. Home the Z-axis. Power the machine back on. Go to Tools in the main menu, tap Move, then tap the Z Home icon. This moves the platform up to its home position at the top of the machine. Step 3. Apply grease going down. Apply a small amount of grease along the screw in the downward direction. Just a thin coat. You don't need to glob it on. You can use your finger or a small brush like I'm using here. Again, I'd also recommend placing a very small amount of grease on the 3 linear rods. Step 4. Move the platform down. Now select the 50mm option and tap Z+ to move the platform down toward its lowest position. It should take about 4 presses of the Z+ button to bottom out the build plate. The motion of the screws moving through the nut will spread the grease. Once you're at the bottom, apply a small amount of grease on the surface of the Z-axis lead screw and linear rods where they were previously obscured by the build plate. Step 5. Home again and verify. Hit Z Home again to return the build plate to the top of the printer. The platform traveling back up will distribute everything evenly across the full length. Wipe off any excess that squeezes out. You don't want a bunch of excess grease. After lubrication, if you like, you can run a short test print to confirm smooth movement with no abnormal noise. If you are completing additional maintenance, leave the printer powered off. Before we tackle the rest of the maintenance items, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, PCBWay. Head on over to PCBWay.com, where they can definitely utilize their massive 3D printing infrastructure to make your dreams a reality. They can print in just about any material you can think of, including PLA,
ABS, nylon, resin, aluminum, stainless steel, and even titanium. Or if you find yourself in need of a PC board, their Instant Quote system makes it incredibly easy to upload a layout file, select your options, and get an accurate quote of what the board will cost you. Make sure to check out their website for all of your PCB or custom fabrication needs. PCB Way, PCB Prototype, the easy way.
Next are the Y-axis linear rods. The Y-axis on the Kobra S1 uses linear rods and linear bearing sleeves to guide the print surface. Debris, dust, or dried-on filament on these rods can cause uneven movement, which shows up in your print as banding or inconsistency. Anycubic recommends checking these once a month. Here's how we'll handle the maintenance for these rods. Step 1. Power down the printer and inspect the rods. Gently push and pull the print head by hand and feel for any stickiness or resistance. Step 2. Clean if needed. If you find a buildup of dust or gunk, use a can of compressed air or an air blower to blow the surface clean. If using compressed air, short bursts only. Don't blast a continuous stream at the rods or you risk pushing debris into other components or blowing debris into the electronics. Although not mentioned in the guide, me personally, I always like to clean off my linear rods using a microfiber cloth with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Just gently wipe them down to remove any stubborn grease or debris that the blower didn't remove. Step 3. Lubricate. Once clean, apply a small amount of grease along the surface of each rod. A thin line is enough. Then manually move the print head back and forth several times to distribute the grease evenly along the full travel length. Step 4. Test. Gently move the Y-axis through its range of motion by hand to check for smooth, resistance-free movement. If you are finished with your maintenance, you can power on the printer and run a test print. If you are completing additional maintenance, leave the printer powered off. And now for the X-axis. This is where the print head moves left and right, and it uses a different system than the Y-axis. It's an optical axis paired with a graphene bearing sleeve. Here is something very important. Do not apply grease to the X-axis rods. Let me say that again. Do not apply grease to the X-axis rods. Graphene has its own inherent lubricating properties, so adding grease is unnecessary and can actually attract dust and cause problems. For the X-axis, it's cleaning only. So, step 1, power down the printer. Step 2, wipe the rods. Take a lint-free cloth with a small amount of isopropyl alcohol and wipe down the X-axis optical rods. This removes any dust, filament residue, or contamination from the surface. The goal is smooth and clean. That's all this axis needs. Step 3, check movement. After cleaning, gently slide the print head back and forth along the X-axis by hand. It should glide freely with no sticking or resistance. If you do feel any catching or roughness after cleaning, that may indicate a bearing sleeve issue, and at that point, I'd recommend reaching out to Anycubic support. All right, and now it's time for Hotend maintenance. This is the one most people encounter first because it's directly tied to print quality and clogs. There are a few scenarios that we'll cover here. First, nozzle surface cleaning. If you notice insufficient extrusion or there's gunk baked onto the outside of the nozzle, start here. Before starting the Hotend maintenance, I would recommend that you lower the print bed all the way to the bottom. First, remove the tool head cover and then remove the Hotend silicone cover. With that complete, heat the nozzle up to 200 degrees Celsius. Once it's up to temp, put on your heat-resistant gloves, and this is non-negotiable. The nozzle is very hot. And use a tissue soft cloth, tweezers, or a brass brush, which is my preference, to wipe the accumulated material off of the nozzle surface. You'll be surprised at how much builds up over time. Next, removing an internal clog. If you have an actual clog, meaning filament isn't extruding or extrusion is severely underperforming, you need to clear the inside of the hot end. Heat the hot end to 230 degrees Celsius. Once it's there, take the steel needle that was included with your printer and carefully insert it into the nozzle tip to break up and clear any debris inside. Work it in and out gently. Don't force it. Keep your gloves on. The molten material that comes out is hot and can stick. And finally, the silicone case inspection. While you've got the hot end area open, always inspect the silicone cover. This little sock protects the heater block and helps maintain stable hot end temperature. After removing the cover, use a lint-free cloth wrapped around a pair of tweezers with a small amount of alcohol to wipe down the silicone cover. Also, wipe the heater block surface before installing the silicone case, but do make sure that it has properly had time to cool down before applying any alcohol. Now, if you see any cracking, deformation, melted areas, or material that's baked on to the silicone cover and it won't clean off, replace it. A damaged silicone cover causes temperature instability, which degrades print quality in ways that are hard to diagnose. These are cheap consumables. Keep a few spares on hand. The Kobra S1 Combo has a built-in filament cutter that's part of the multicolor system. Anycubic recommends checking this after every 3 to 4 rolls of filament. Use an S2.0 Allen key to remove the cutter assembly. Inspect the blade for wear. You're looking for dullness, chipping, or any deformation that would prevent a clean cut. If the blade is worn, swap it out. A dull cutter causes messy tip cuts, which can jam the multicolor filament path downstream. Next up, fans. Fans are one of the most neglected maintenance items on any 3D printer. The Kobra S1 Combo has several: the hot end cooling fans, the front cover fans, and the auxiliary fans. All of them accumulate dust and debris over time. Clogged fans run hotter and slower, which affects cooling performance and shortens their lifespan. The method here is simple. Power down the printer, use a can of compressed air or an air blower to blow out dust from each fan. We want to use short bursts pointed at the fan blades from a reasonable angle. Don't hold a continuous blast that spins the fan blades at high speed while unpowered, as that can damage bearings and electronics. I like to place a thin object into the fan blades to prevent rotation and then hit it with a quick burst of air from my electric blower. For fans with visible buildup that air alone won't shift, lightly dampen a cotton swab with isopropyl alcohol, or you can use your microfiber cloth in tweezers, and gently wipe the individual fan blades. Tweezers or dental picks come in handy here as well to remove stubborn debris that airflow won't displace. Do a visual check each time. If a fan looks physically damaged, wobbles, or you notice it making unusual noise during operation, it's time for a replacement. Now that build plate, it takes a lot of abuse over time. Things like filament adhesion, scraping, and general grime from your hands will mess up your prints. So, keeping it clean is essential for good first layer adhesion and consistent release after printing. For routine cleaning, after your prints cool down, place a small amount of isopropyl alcohol onto a clean microfiber cloth and wipe the build plate down. This removes oil, residual filament, and anything your hands may have deposited. Now, my personal preference, and what I've found works the best, is to run the build plate under hot water, apply a small amount of dish detergent to the build plate, and scrub it gently with a clean sponge that is dedicated to print bed cleaning. Rinse and dry completely before using the plate again. One important habit: after cleaning your build plate, avoid touching it with your bare hands. Natural skin oils are a surprisingly effective adhesion killer. Handle the plate by the edges. Now, we won't go too far into the Ace Pro, but under normal usage, Anycubic recommends replacing the PTFE material tube every 2 months to ensure that the filament can be smoothly fed in and out in various usage scenarios. Now, if you are using highly abrasive filaments, such as glow-in-the-dark and those containing fibers, it is recommended to check it once a month and replace it in time if the material tube is obviously worn, to prevent poor feeding from affecting your prints or causing other faults. To remove these tubes, pull out the Teflon tube and remove the blue pneumatic clamp. Press the black pressing head with your finger and pull out the Teflon tube with force. Repeat the same method for the other 3 tubes. On the 4-in-1 filament hub end of things, depress the small pneumatic clamp face upward while pulling on the PTFE tube to remove. Repeat that step for the remaining 3 tubes. Insert the new PTFE tube onto the buffer mechanism and ensure it seats fully. There should be about 15 millimeters from the end of the tube to the edge of the pneumatic clamp. Give the tube a test pull. If it pulls the buffer out, it proves that the PTFE tube is being held by the internal clamp. After the PTFE tube is installed, replace the blue pneumatic clamp. Insert the other end of each PTFE tube into one of the holes on the 4-in-1 filament hub. The Kobra S1 Combo has a built-in camera for remote monitoring. If your camera feed is blurry or you can see visible smearing on the image, it's time for a quick lens clean. This one's easy. Take a lint-free cloth or a cotton swab, apply a tiny amount of isopropyl alcohol, and gently wipe the lens. That's it. Don't press hard, you're just removing dust and any oily residue. Alright, before we wrap up, let me run through the recommended schedule so you can build this into a routine. Honestly, most of this takes just a few minutes once you build the habit. The Z-axis grease job is the most involved, and even that's maybe 15 minutes start to finish. The things that will save you the most headaches long term are keeping those linear rods clean, staying on top of the nozzle cleanliness, and checking that cutter regularly, especially if you're doing a lot of multicolor print. That covers the complete maintenance routine for the Anycubic Kobra S1 Combo straight from the official Anycubic wiki. I'll link the full wiki page in the description below so you can bookmark it for reference. And please take a look at the links below for all of the products I used in this video. If the video was helpful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps out the channel. And if you've got a specific maintenance question or something that I didn't cover, drop it in the comments below. Also, if you aren't currently subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. As always, I enjoy the time that we get to spend together here on the channel. Let's keep on learning, burning, printing, and growing together. Take care, everyone.